True.
TB still in the pool if they want to just get something, but yeah, okay, it's like we have Skeeter on the team.
Oh, look at that snap hero.
Instantly a Timber
So
Saw.
yeah, it looks like Weaver carry, right? Yeah, Yuragi on Weaver, Amar Timber, and he is versus what looks like to be a double melee, the CK plus a bat in lane most likely. And it is going to be that bat and that Coddle in the top lane.
Okay, so they're swapping things around. Also, they are putting this Bat Rider against the Timber Saw, and that's what they're trying to figure out. There's going to be a lot of lane shenanigans. Who wants to dodge what? Tundra, they want to have Bat Rider against Timber. Timber might be alone on the safe lane, and they like run an aggressive tri-lane as well. There's so many things that can be done. I just want to see like what the first minute of the game is going to look like. But looking at the draft, it's a last pick Timber Saw. You know that Amar says, okay, how do you feel about it? He feels very good.
Remaining.
You know that then it's a good Timber Saw game. But looking at the draft,
5 seconds remaining.
I like what Tundra has a little bit more, because this is Pango that builds into the Fusel Blade early on, something that Timber doesn't like to play into. He is tanky, but if he can get his spells off, he can't get away with the Timber Chain, he dies.
Yeah, and I'm also I'm unsure about how Weaver is now as a carry. As I mentioned, you know, the changes that have happened. Shakuchi has a very long level 1 cooldown. Like in the past, in the past versus Sticky, you lane Weaver versus Bat. Like this is quite a long time ago now, but Weaver did very good in the matchup because you'd play around your cooldown, you'd Shakuchi through, guaranteed last hits. Now, you can just get chased down. He sees you use that Shakuchi, he flame breaks you, chases you. But they're probably not going to have that exact lane matchup as Lacoste is mentioning. But yeah, still liking the group up, and I just think Coddle and Pango is pretty broken, to be honest.
I feel like Tundra got basically all they wanted with that opening for sure. That being said, it is Amar's Timber Saw, and I know he didn't win the last official that he had with that, but it is his staple for a reason. Let's see if that is enough to propel OG here to a victory, or if Tundra will take the lead here in a game 1 of this best of 3 series. We're heading over to our commentary duo. It is Cap and SVG.
It's been 9 months since the old OG gate-kept Tundra out of TI, and since then, Tundra themselves have become the gatekeepers when it comes to OG. They've won every single series against OG until last season. OG got their first victory, 2-1 against Tundra. Now it's time to see if they can keep that momentum going in what is a much-needed win for them. Otherwise, they go down to a score of 2-2, not where they want to be.
Yeah, pretty much. This is a battle for the top of that league, so to say. Hoping to bring Tundra down a notch. And I really think this draft was super interesting. I almost feel like OG was kind of soft baiting this Chaos Knight the whole time, because they just know Skeeter loves this hero. Tundra kind of wanted a stunner initiator in that last roll. They were super ready for it, I think. I think they're very confident in Enigma Timber being able to pick up the slack and this Ember late game. Very interesting draft. Like this Ember Weaver, we don't see Weaver carry a lot, but he's old. Like it's a very old school CIS type carry thing, and all these guys love to play carry Weaver because you can get hyper aggressive with it. You can snowball it. You can win your lane. This hero can go 16-0, and then you die once and you lose sometimes. That's the double edge of the Weaver, so to say. But
really cool use of the Weaver already. They had him Shakuchi out. He's carrying a Quelling Blade. He is also carrying one of the support Sentry. And so he did the play where he cuts down that one tree and places the sentry. So even if you deward it, you may not be able to find that ward. You have to actually cut down a tree to be able to see it in the first place. So already OG, well thought out plan by them.
And he's getting this deep ward. And what this ward is designed to do is OG does not want to get wrong lane matchups here. Because Tundra really wants this Bat versus Timber, and I think they also want Coddle versus the Enigma lane. That one's a bit more debatable, but I feel like they really want these two, and if they get it, they're going to be super happy, because Tundra's heroes are all about this lane snowball pressure. Like Pango Bats really want to get ahead in this game so Coddle can back them up on the map and they take it over early. I really think if this game goes later and OG's on even footing, some of these team fights are going to be difficult.
Yuragi unable to outclick the Keeper of the Light. Means they do lose out on the Bounty Rune War. But maybe they can still get the lane matchups that they want to be able to have. Bat Rider versus Timber Saw is there in the top lane, safe lane. Snaking already taking a lot of damage. Taiga with the Eidolons, putting that extra pressure in this bottom lane.
They did get this Bat versus Timber. At the same time, I feel like this Enigma versus Abaddon is super good for Enigma, especially in this kind of scenario where you can deny from the carry. So kind of got one, missed the other in my opinion, but we'll see how this tri-lane pans out, how long OG commits to it as well.
Yeah, it's possible that, right, maybe they're just giving the
Radiant's
Timbersaw like a
courier
little bit of
has been
a good
killed.
start, you know, like get level 2, level 3, and then maybe he comes down here.
What, the Timber coming bottom, you're saying? Or
Yeah.
bottom, you mean?
Timber.
It's hard for Timber to rotate, right? Because just every time you TP, then Bat follows you. Then you're kind of like stuck in this quad lane scenario that gets kind of weird.
Okay, so would you rather keep the Timber here and
Yeah,
where
I
he's
think
at
so.
least in his safe lane?
I think you just man up and play the matchup. Amar is one of the most experienced Timbersaw players, so...
Yeah, and he also
knows how
seems
to
like
do
the
it.
kind of person who was like, no, I could beat this guy, I'll play him.
Yeah, he might have called.
Yeah.
Let him 1v1 me, boys. I'll show you how it's done.
Do a little back laning, so that's one way to be able to pull that Timbersaw away from the protection of his tier 1 tower. Meanwhile, our mid lane matchup, we got a BZM versus 9. I think this mid lane matchup is very exciting. Even if the mid lane mechanics aren't the same as of old, I still think that this 1v1 should be a bit of a treat to watch. We've got Pango on one side, Ember on the other.
EZM winning the early waves here, so...
Yeah.
He's doing pretty well. Anytime I feel like Ember's doing well in the laning phase, this hero's always going to be a force to be reckoned with. And like that panel was talking about, not a huge amount of stuns on Tundra's side, so this Ember can sway this early laning phase a lot, potentially. We're going to see Amar just getting chased down here.
Another Timber chain coming up. Oh, he planted a tree in front of him, and that's just enough. 33 gets in front of him. What a baller move by 33. Plants the Ironwood branch right in front of the Timbersaw, so he was not able to get far enough.
What a monster.
Absolutely.
Turning the trees against him.
He is afraid of trees. Now you see why.
If Amar ends up winning this game, I guarantee you he's going to be planting some branches outside the fountain. He's going to mix it up.
That is a good one. That is a good one. I like that. I hope he does. Hopefully we get to see that at least.
You remember, this guy remembers the early laning phase greatness.
It's true. He does.
You might
really
just be powering him up here.
Yeah, we actually talked about that last time we cast the OG series, right? Is that like, you know, he lost his lane, he got tipped, and he came back with a vengeance in the mid game.
This is not a lane that gets better for him over time. This is one that gets worse, and he is so far behind on this level disadvantage here. Those early pulls working in Tundra's favor. I'm worried for Amar in this laning phase. OG's gonna have to make up for it on bottom and mid. You see Taiga with a weird rotation mid, almost working out.
Yeah. Force out the Fairy Fire at least. Misha, Yuragi going to battle here, going to war against Skeeter. Snake King being so annoying, sitting on the front lines, getting on top of Misha. He has to turn around and Nightmare before the stun can come in. Snake King relieves it with the abandoned shield, but they're not going to go for the dive here. Misha will survive. Uh-oh. Amar, he's after him again. The Timber Chain's not going to be up in time. A second kill for 33 as he doesn't even bother tipping Amar just yet.
This lane is becoming a problem for OG. Like, this Batrider is getting massively accelerated. Timber cannot enter this lane again. Like, if he TP's back up here, I feel like he's just going to get dove again. And he doesn't really have anybody who can help him. Taiga doesn't want to go up there. Misha, I think he has to go up here, but all he can really do is sleep the bad aggressiveness. So, kind of an awkward position for him to be in, but...
Yeah,
like
if
OG
the Keeper of
has
Light
to.
is there, he just takes out the Nightmare. You're back to where you started.
This is not the easiest position for OG already, but yeah, again, like Bane has no choice here because Amar is gonna get dove.
Yep, he absolutely is. You can see 33 thinking about it right now, but they do spot Misha while it's still daytime, so that element of surprise is now gone.
I think your best counteract is, again, like you're hoping this top lane, okay, it's gonna go bad for us early, but Amar can come back. At the same time, you're gonna hope Skeeter gets shut down a bit at the same degree, and honestly he is. Like, his lane phase has been pretty disrupted by the early Enigma denies. He was tri-lane, so the Chaos Knight is not a hero that ideally wants to function from this bad of a lane phase. He can come back with just like armlet EHP in the fights, but
ultimately he's not like some flash farming carry, right? He's not going to be able to get back into the game that way. It's going to have to be through fighting.
he might even go down here.
Yeah, he is going to go down. So his net worth is sitting pretty close there to the Timbersaw. He's slightly more CS, but he is not feeling great. And that is a big difference, right, between Timbersaw and Chaos Knight, is that I would say Timbersaw operates much better without net worth, but just having raw levels.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. Like, Chaos Knight can have some decent power spikes. Again, that Tread Armlet can really pump you up. Maybe you win a fight, and then you can come back by farming the map. But Timber, he can kind of do similar things, right? This is a hero that can shove waves super fast, get jacked. Amar knows how to race on this hero. I've learned that from experience.
BCM slightly off the timing there with a sleight of fist to dodge the roll. Not that it matters. He did have a remnant already out to be able to pick up the arcane rune. And it looks like Snaking is going to be able to pick up a kill on Taiga. Sure, his life is traded out in return, but you got to know Snaking's happy with that one. No matter how skilled his response is. Arcane Ember still chasing after him. BCM a little bit low on mana here. So he's still going to go for it. One more slight. It's coming up, but 9 is already swashbuckled away. So instead he turns towards Saksa. But that is also a kill out of his reach.
BCM saying, I don't need Coddle, I'll just get the Coddle rune, so to say.
Yeah, that's true. Combination of a quick trip back to base via his remnants, and he's in fighting shape once again.
Taiga's been pretty aggressive around these mid runes like we saw the earlier game. He sometimes can be awkward for Enigma, but I feel like he's having a decent impact outside of that death. Even that was a trade, and he got his Ember the rune.
They are really trying hard for this kill on a Pain that does not seem like they would ever be able to get it. But you gotta try again, this time around with Keeper Light with a blast. It just might be enough, but it is not. One more swashbuckle, but it's gonna be far too late. So a bit of over-aggression cost Snaking his life. And now Skeeter, who has been left alone, all the supports are showing mid. They know they can go for this 9. They know they've got this kill in the bag. Hiragi picking up the killing spree now.
I mean, OG really putting on pressure where it matters most, abusing Tundra's weakness here, which is this Chaos Knight, leveraging that, even getting support TPs down. Saksa's gonna get dove here too a bit.
Yeah, just keeps going for it with a Malefice. Tundra Doxa is pretty much teleported to a dead end.
I'm sensing a pattern.
I mean, does Chaos Knight really want to come back here again? He's going to try and go for the kill onto Taiga. Malefice is coming up in a second, though, so Skeeter could take a lot of damage on his way out. Malefice doesn't go down. Amar needs some help, though. This is the lane where Tundra is furthest ahead, and the Nightmare is going to be too late. He's stuck. Amar dies again. The one bright shining part here for Tundra is this 33 Bat Rider.
Dire's top
And he's
tower
already got
is
Boots
under
of Travel
attack.
coming out. So
Radiant's
if
middle
anyone is going to
tower
break
is
this
under
game
attack.
open for Tundra, it's definitely going to be 33 this game. Using that early Boots of Travel to sway some of these other lanes. At the same time, though, it might be difficult for him for seeing this Weaver just... Hiragi is not letting up on the early aggression, and this is a scenario where does Bat want to TP into a Weaver lane and try and skirmish this guy? This is part of that matchup and why they picked it for carry this game. Tundra's stuns are pretty limited. Yeah, one of their best stuns is Chaos Bolt. It's on a hero that's been super debilitated in the early game, so this is also freeing up Ember and Weaver to hit that mid-game stride.
So 33 is going to have to be very careful about where he chooses to rotate and apply pressure, because if he misses out on a gank, it just means he's getting Amar way back into the game, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like every time he moves on the map, this Timber is gonna start shoving the lane. He's gonna start farming. And here we're seeing Hiragi just giving Skeeter no place to go.
He's gonna go for it. He's gonna keep it up. He's gonna be the missed coil to help out. He does pop the Phantasm. Yuragi's like, great, okay, I got you to use your ultimate. That's already gonna limit your farm even more than it already has been.
Here's 33 looking for, he needs to get this kill.
He absolutely does. He pops the dust. Yuragi, Taiga to intercept. There it is. The Maledict. Is that stun going to be enough? It looks like it. 33. You would need a dream flame break to be able to get this one. About back during mid-range. He's going to turn around. BCM is now here. It's going to be troublesome for 33 to be able to get away from this one. Another slide is coming up. They do have the roll on the other side of things, though. 9. He challenges BZM and forces him to get away from the Bat Rider. The Bat Rider makes the rotation, doesn't die, but simultaneously doesn't get the kill that you said was integral to Tundra's comeback.
There's another rune fight here. Ace bottom. That's going to go to Ember. Again, OG just winning these rune fights for their mid. This is super big because it's accelerating Ember into this mid game really fast off these early runes that he's putting to good use.
Dude, I hate seeing Ember get free runes. It's like Quap of last patch, you know? You just can't give this guy the freedom of all these power runes.
Yeah, 9 did not make the proper sacrifice to Valve this morning.
No, he's
not winning those tosses. Even there, he might have got his slight stolen, so...
Taiga going to be opting for a fast Orchid build up here.
Yeah, I was looking at it. It's pretty interesting because you can get this early Void Stone, but haven't seen this too often, and it is a long item to build up for Enigma with some awkward components, you know, Claymore, Blitz Knuckles. Not exactly optimal early Enigma items, but the payoff could be really nice this game.
Yeah, we saw a lot of people doing this last patch with Enigma, but with the new Orchid, I think this is going to be the first time I've ever seen anybody do it, so.
Yep. Looks like Tundra will just trade towers here. Maybe not, though. I kind of feel like they should defend their safe lane this game. Like, the early back boss, the Pangolier loves fighting around his towers here. And
he was like, I'm going to try. Sox is already TP'd in, so 33 on his way. Time to the out. Flank break straight into the lasso. Very pretty combination there from 33.
OG's all coming down here to collapse.
Dyer's top tower is under attack.
Mar wants to do business.
Oh yeah, and he's got
shops open.
Charges to go for it. He immediately doesn't even think for a second about whether or not he should go for the dive. Just pure aggression. Or looks nice. Chain out, actually stuck. A beautiful Fiend's Grip on the side here, stopping the aggression of the Pangolier. But finally it bled up. The last bit of roll is going to be able to catch the Bane. Still looks to be able to catch Amar, but Amar is far enough away with the Timber Chain. 33 chasing Taiga on the other side of things with a TP scroll though. And Tundra does successfully keep their tower alive and does not get smashed by the sandwich OG was able to bring.
That's part of the power of this Coddle Abaddon supports, like fighting around that tower, double sustain, the heals coming out from the blast and the shields. Yeah, meanwhile, Skeeter, he's catching up. So this game is kind of like, you know, I feel like the teams are trying to make aggressive moves, and if it doesn't work, it's allowing the hero that was destroyed in that early game to come back.
So initially it was like Amar, now it's Skeeter, who's, you know, both of these heroes, both of these cores who had their early farm diminished are being able to get some semblance.
And it's kind of about what 33 can get done and what Uri can get done, because I feel like they're the most accelerated in this game, and they're both very powerful early game heroes who can join the fights easily. Like this Weaver with Maelstrom, he wants to fight, he wants to farm, but he also wants to be farming heroes with this, you know?
Yeah.
Like this hero is super powerful in these early skirmishes. We saw it bottom, just getting the dive train on. So OG, they're gonna have a second Maelstrom on the Ember pretty soon. I think that's gonna be a signal to.
Oh, the early diffuser blade. Good read though from BCM. He actually already had a remnant out preemptively.
That is the strength of this pick. This is why Tundra likes this hero so much. The fusel timing is insane. Just the early mana burn. Like, if you ever land the full mana burn on Bane or Enigma, that's basically one of their spells. They're just not getting off in a fight. Yeah. It's super annoying.
So you were talking about the basically the matchup and how these two cores want to look at this game. So would you say, for the most part, that a more static game is favorable for Tundra because they need their Chaos Knight back into the game? Or is it a little bit more finicky than that?
I mean, these things kind of change depending on where the farm rates come out, right?
Yeah.
Like, once heroes start to get different items, once this Ember and Weaver get their second item or so, even on their way to their second item, these heroes farm insanely fast. Enigma's going to start to come online as that third core for OG, which is going to be interesting to see how they balance that between him and Amar, because Amar's kind of in catch-up mode, and Timber can play this distraction, like, pseudo-utility route with some Lotuses and Yules and stuff. But knowing Amar, he wants to get farmed, so if OG gets away with it right now, I think it favors them. But at the same time, it's gonna get hard for them to get away with it here. This Bat, Coddle, and Pango can just be everywhere on the map.
Yeah. Taiga again gonna be caught out in this bottom lane. He just continues to try and farm up this lane. Maybe it's better for him to be ganked than some others. I don't really know, but the BZM. His rotation down here felt a little futile.
This is where 33 just has to close out parts of the map with his strength right now. He is a beast, and they don't really have any of those early dispels or saves or, you know, napalm resets. You can get a lot done in these early skirmish fights if you can find it. At the same time, we do see Taiga go back for that blink, and I feel like this is the correct choice this game. I think he needs to get something done with these black holes. Be a bit more aggressive with his Ember and Weaver. Like, if he can ever black hole this Bat or black hole this Pango and just get the core kill for his life, it's super worth it.
Yeah. See Bat Rider just operating all over the place after laning phase. A couple of kills that he got on Amar in the top lane, but otherwise He's made an appearance in both of the other lanes. As a result, the score is 7-7. Very, very even game right now. But OG have just picked up that Blink Dagger, so an opportunity for them perhaps to win a small skirmish or team fight.
Might be looking top. No, Yuragi TV's out. Again, this tier 1 bottom is constricting their map, and they just don't see a lot right now. Like,
Radiant's
they have
middle
one
tower
dire
is
ward
under
bottom,
attack.
basically nowhere else. I see creeps hitting mid.
Radiant
That's like the next best
structures
piece of vision,
fortified.
and they know no one's even defending this, so I think it's part of why OG's so scared right now. Like,
Yeah.
hey, why was nobody defending mid for a while?
It's a very weird tower to be defended, that's for sure, yeah.
I'm kind of surprised this mid tier 1 got chipped so much this game, like in general.
Radiant's
I
bottom
don't even
tower
remember
is under
anyone
attack.
really chipping this.
Yeah, it's a Pango versus Ember. You're not really
Dire's
expecting
middle
either
tower
of those
is
heroes
under
to be
attack.
laying in some tower damage, so that is kind of interesting, yeah.
Just the rogue catapult, I guess. CMR, he did rush this Lotus, so he knows what has to be done in this bad Timber matchup, and Lotus is incredibly strong versus bad this patch. I feel like even more so than some other patches, but
Collapsing from Tundra, they are going to be able to find the kill onto the Bane. For a second there, you're looking at from OG's perspective, they were the Predators looking to be able to catch 33 underneath the tower, but no. Oh, this one disarm from 9 allows him to be able to get the deny on the tower, and a little pause to celebrate the victory. They did, we're having some Discord issues during the draft as well, so looks like this might be a continual thing that'll hopefully get fixed soon. What a disarm.
no tower for you, sir.
All right, so if you kind of pointed out that this bottom safe lane tower that Tundra has managed to keep up, you said they should defend this, and they have been, and they've kept it up, and you said it's constricting map for OG and causing problems for them. How does OG rectify that? Like, should they just, is it as simple as them just like 5-manning bottom with this Blink Dagger on Enigma? Is that enough team fight for them, or is Tundra's defense like too strong just to do something so bold?
I don't think you want to force it. We kind of saw them earlier kind of angling to do that. They brought the 4, but it just becomes so awkward when Tundra commits their whole lineup down there. Like to dive in a Abaddon, to dive this Caudal. You're basically giving the fight to this Pango Bat, and then Skeeter can choose to come in later, right? If the fight's looking good, and he'll just clean it up. It's just way too hard to dive them like that unless, you know, maybe if this Timber was having an insane game, but I don't think they have to force it at the same time. We saw like Yuragi went top and he kept this top lane in, kind of playing the opposite side of the map to try and force Tundra into an awkward position. It's always nice to get this tier 1 tower down, but it's not a necessity when your lineup functions with the enemy running into you, which kind of feels like the state of the game right now. Like OG is going to be super happy if Tundra takes the aggressive fight into their heroes. They will be super glad to fight around one of their tier 1s, fight around their triangle. It gives Enigma and Bane like a super good fight when they can see the Bat and Pango. Then they get to choose to use Grip and Hole. So OG doesn't mind those fights, but sometimes in games like this, as a player, you feel a bit awkward. You know, you're like, yeah, this tower should be down, guys. We want to get an enemy triangle. Our vision's constricted because again, like, where are these OG wards, right? I think we've seen one ward on Tundra's side of the map, and it was like behind that tier 1, and they didn't even really get to use it. So sometimes that can feel a bit, you know, like it's strangling your options a little. And then we'll see. OG, they're gonna make the smoke play here. Where are they gonna go? This is part of the issue. This tier 1 mid did die, so they're just gonna look mid.
Yeah, they see some options here. 9, perfect opportunity. He jumps forward, they get a full out beat grip on him. He's dead. Snaking cannot be there in time. And if anything, Snaking may actually be falling for it. It's just enough to be able to pop the ultimate. That's good enough. But yeah, those nukes, they gotta be careful on some of those backline supports.
That's another haste rune for Ember off the back of that too.
Oh, jeez. Ember keeps on collecting.
I mean, just super good read by OG to hit that window where Snaking was not behind that Pango, because if he gets shielded, like 33 already has BKB, Pango has his hit move, blink, and roll. That could easily be a fight that turns against him, but that ward mid doing a lot of work. Snaking knows. He's like, all right, they knew I wasn't there. Yeah, what he doesn't know is they saw it off 2 obs, so he got mind gamed a little.
Yeah. I've noticed that trend lately of people kind of double downing on wards in important areas. You know, like one gets dewarded, nobody really expects the other one to still be in the same area.
I think it's good this game, because again, like, where is Misha gonna get obs this game with the state of the map? Like he runs the enemy triangle towards it, doesn't do anything for OG, not really.
Very interesting play here from
Dire's
Skeeter.
middle tower is
He's
under
been playing pretty defensively for the last, 14 minutes or so, and now he's going to try and sneak in this Roshan. They don't know about the other lane ward that was near the Roshan pit, but none of the heroes from Tundra are actually showing on that ward. This is going to be a successful Roshan attempt for Tundra, and this may spur them to then be able to be aggressive, which is where, you talked about OG and how they would actually prefer some defensive fights if possible.
Roshan has
There's
fallen
a lot
to the Radiant.
of effective net worth going Skeeter's way though, because now he can play super aggressive. Like one of the best counters to these long cooldown ults on supports. We're talking about Grip and Black Hole. That is Aegis. People don't really think, oh, because you can't buy an Aegis, but you can buy it in a sense, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So this gives
Cost
Skeeter
of 50 cents of smoke.
yeah, very cheap. Cheapest Aegis.
Snaking. It's going to be fine here.
This might signal like time to just take this mid tower and fade OG side of the map. I would kind of like to see it from Tundra here because 33 is closing in on Blink, Skeeter's closing in on BKB. He's gonna have this Aegis, which is a huge way to just enter the fight, get vision for his team.
And see, Orchid's still really worth it on Taiga when you've gone Blink Dagger and going back for Orchid. I figured you would just go BKB at that point.
Not sure. It's gonna be super effective on this Pango if he can ever latch him, but there is that Abaddon Dispel. There's gonna be BKBs on the other two floors. Skeeter's just gonna destroy the Bane out here.
Yeah, poor Misha. Tried to get that Nightmare, but Skeeter was a little bit too quick there with the fingers. Did manage to get off
Radiant's
his
bottom
ult
tower
first.
is under
BTM will
attack.
try and clear through those from a distance with a sleight of fist. He's got his BKB. The Batrider has his BKB. They've got an Aegis. This looks like time for Tundra just to start forcing.
I got changed on this Ember top. That was an extremely bold kill attempt.
Like
Dire's
trying to
middle
roll and
tower
then
is
reality
under
rift
attack.
him into the roll.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But they will get mid tower off this, making just putting Kurt to work.
BKB gonna be forced out on 33, and they can still get the deny on the tower, so we are even Stevens as far as that goes. And OG, they are not scared of a fight just right this second because the Chaos Knight was still top, but as the seconds dwindle by.
At TP's bottom, Coddle also TP here, so OG don't know. Tundra was super good at not showing their heroes here. That's partially why they did not want OG just getting a hyper-aggressive fight around mid.
Misha, his smoke gonna be broken by snaking. 33 gonna go for the kill. The Nightmare goes down. Of course, the shield will rectify that situation. You can see 9, he's still playing defensively, even though we know this is just a free 5 position. They're a little bit scared of any sort of response from OG. The truth is, OG is all bottom lane, but they couldn't find Soxa either.
Is looking for more with this haste.
Malphus looking to be able to stop that roll-in. Very annoying for Pango.
This is not a fight I think OG can take, just not enough mana on this Enigma.
Oh, the blink is coming up in a second. Oh, no, he gets hit by the ball just in time. And so they do find a secondary kill here. They're keeping in, though. Mark's making the call this deep. They want to try and get some damage in.
And Lotus here.
He's okay, jumps in immediately with his Lotus Orb. He's feeling okay with
Even
that.
on the side, looking.
Phantasm trying to grab somebody, pulls in Yuragi, who does have the dust on him. Instead, goes for the stun on the Ember Spirit, who jumps back to his remnant, so he'll be fine. The illusions got cleared through, though, pretty quickly, so there goes some of the pushing power of Tundra.
I almost feel like Tundra wanted more out of that. OG doing a decent job, in my opinion, of kind of stalling this game out, especially during this Aegis timer, where I think Skeeter was super strong. Does not feel like they got almost anything out of it.
Well, he's got one last hurrah. He's got 1:10 left and a Blink Dagger that's going to be coming in. So they'll have like 40 seconds. By the time this Blink Dagger gets here, they'll have a solid like 40 seconds to try and force some big team fight around that initiation.
They pre-smoke. They definitely won it. I don't think there's anybody home, so
Yeah.
we're doing OG smoking themselves to the opposite.
Completely empty territory here. They know it too, with the Batrider circling around from behind. So they're just going to claim this off-lane tower. OG may try and do something similar here with the
Dire's
Eidolon
bottom
push.
tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
OG Ward might
Radiant's
be
middle
Fox in
tower
here.
is
He's right
under
on the edge
attack.
of it.
Looks like he might have just snuck through. That's going to ruin Taiga
what you'll find
and
later.
his army. Look at him, he's going for the side. Soxa knows how much farm he can get, especially with an Enigma in the game. He's already got 4 staff, Spirit Vessel as well.
Gotta
Dire's
be
bottom
careful here
tower
though,
is
because
under
OG
attack.
has that ward behind the tier 1, so they know no one's here to back him up.
Yeah, Taiga drops the trees. He knows he's somewhere around and spot him for a second. Almost got. Okay, there goes the Orchid, and he is going to be caught now. Surely. Misha, he's going to pop the feet skirt. The rest of the team is coming in, though. The Aphotic Shield is out, and the rest of the team needs to get out. Misha, he's not going to be able to get out of here, but Yuragi should be safe. 33. Remember who the original target was in all this, Taiga. He was hunting for the Keeper of the Light, and he's still up there in the corner. A little bit of clash bottom lane. 33 rotating
Dire's
down there
top
to
tower
try
is
and
under
catch
attack.
somebody, but it was already the Ember who had a remnant out, gone away.
Feels like a giant game of Keep Away or something.
Yeah.
OG is just all over this map. Mar is in super deep. Does not feel like Tundra has the lockdown to catch Ember or Weaver at all. These heroes, I don't even think they've been touched. We saw like the one attempt top that was pretty low probability to work. Outside of that, OG just cruising to their items here.
Now OG can be as slippery as they want, but are they delaying the game for a certain timing? Like, do you think that they're actually going to be
Radiant's
stronger
bottom
because they
tower
have this
is under
Enigma late
attack.
game?
There are certain things that could work out for them, like Enigma's always a powerful late game hero, but at the same time, I don't feel like Tundra's scale is far behind at all, right? Like, this Pango already has a basher. This Abaddon, Snake King will always get farmed. Like, this guy loves to hit creeps. Don't let him play by this way. So here is also
Oh no! Oh, he got away! Barely into the illusion before the sun can come out. Now 9 is looking to be able to hop away from Yuragi with the bug still on him. It's a little bit dangerous. Snake King is probably going to get caught up by the Chakra. He is. Mar snatches up that
what a
kill.
sleep.
It is. What a sleep indeed. Misha barely keeping himself alive. He's going to get burned down by 33, but it sets the rest of the team up to go on Skeeter. The BKBs, double BKBs pop. They killed the Enigma, and now they actually immediately blink backwards. I thought with the Enigma dead, that would be go time for Tundra to look for more, but in truth, Skeeter was actually a bit skittish.
Tundra's just super respectful of their own BKBs. Like, when those BKBs are down, they do not want to fight. And they're also respecting Taiga. Like, I think 33 is going to last on him every time this game if he can. Even just a single napalm on Enigma slows this hero down so much. It's miserable. See him trying to turn there, but
Dire's middle tower is
it's
under attack.
definitely a very difficult game for him to black hole at all. I don't think we've seen one, right?
Yuragi's going to be caught. They have the sentry already laid out. Now Misha's coming over. Does manage to hit the feed script to stop the play, but he is out of mana. He pops the time lapse. Yuragi, he doesn't have the BKB up in a second. Oh, actually, he got defensive mana with the wand charges, and I'm not sure what else. Gets off the BKB. Another Shukuchi coming up. Oh, sliding away to the side. He just juked out that swashbuckle, but is it going to be enough? Oh, the fire blast wasn't there in time. He still had his BKB going. He surely would have died to the damage over time if it hadn't been for that fact, but 1 second more of magic immunity is enough to keep him alive. Amar dueling it out here. OG thinking about the turn with Amar, bouncing back the stun on his heater. Very nice. Taiga is going to be caught once again by 33. As you said, always targeting that 4 position. Nice self-fuels. Amar gets away with the Timber Chain very nicely, but a bash and a burn down of mana onto BZM. Another BKB going to have to be used. He's been a little bit of chakra magic, but another bash lands onto him, but he still gets the slight to be able to kill the Pango. Now, he looks for a way out, trying to keep inside of the trees, outside the vision. Oh, got pulled out last. It didn't matter. The stun was already there, but Skeeter, just a sliver of HP, managed to get one armlet toggle off. Yuragi looks for it, but the blink out is there, and OG realizing they have to be a little bit scared. 33 doesn't have his BKB. He's caught in the Orchid, and he's now dead. He overextends himself on Amar, and the rest of OG do at least find some recompense for the Ember kill.
Taiga kind of regrets that buyback a little. It's going to hurt his BKB progression. Wishes he didn't have to do it, but putting this Orchid to decent use and big fight for OG, honestly. Like, that's going to bring this Timberwolves back fully into the game. even though he wasn't really out of it. Yuragi with the Gleipnir, not an item you see traditionally like this late in the game, but I'll tell you, like, Tundra's been popping their BKBs a lot this game. They're gonna get down to that 6 seconds at some point, and this Gleipnir will win those later portions of the fight. Like, this thing's super annoying for Bad Tango.
Oh yeah, and a great solution to Chaos Knight when he pops Phantasm as well, right?
Like, he can save his teammates, he can just gunk up the fight. And again, if these fights last a decent length, like we saw there, I feel like it has to favor OG. Just the amount of slights, the Weaver bug minus armor, the Gleipnirs, the Orchids.
Radiant's bottom
I just think
tower
OG
is under
supports have to
attack.
play these fights super careful in terms of position, because we saw there, like, the instant Tundra sees this Bane or Enigma, they are instantly going to jump them.
Yeah. Gen picked up for Snaking, so they're looking to be able to get that early vision control. We've seen how important that has been this match with the early gems being grabbed, as well as, you know, the Helmet Dominator. Big controversial, but the pickup of the Heartbeat Creep. And if what you're saying is true, that these longer fights play to OG's favor, then that means Tundra needs clean initiation, which requires OG not having vision in that area, right?
Yes, the vision is super big this game, and I think that's why we see Snaking thinking about this HOD, i.e. Harpy in the gem build.
The only limitation there is just finding the Harpy after that.
This is Idle Lake on the high ground, looking for any wards. They think it's going to stun. The Molotov goes off first. He actually got the longer stun on his Skeeter, but 33 caught Taiga. That's a dieback for him.
Ward still through Lightning as well as the bugs. Do land on several heroes. Misha's going to be caught in the side by 9. There's a turn back to him, but the Aponic Shield quickly relieves him. Divini disables and he hops over the cliff, down to the river, down to safety. Snaking, though, will go back to base in a grave and a body bag.
Easier for Tundra.
Oh, the Gleipnir is going to be able to catch you with the slight there as well. Bouncing back, another stun onto the Chaos Knight. Amar on point with this Lotus Orb, and now it's just a free-for-all. Whoever they can catch at this point in time, a buyback with Eben, that's not going to be enough to save Saksa. In fact, he's just going to die right away. Right next to Saksa. Skeeter comes back in, does manage to get the kill on a support,
They
but
still have no
at
BKBs.
what a cost? No BKBs. They respected their own BKBs for so long, but what happened, SVG?
Weaver is destroying everybody.
They got it into their heads that they could fight with just the sheer numbers, but nothing matches magic immunity. So many heroes dead on the side of Tundra, so many would die back. Let's go ahead and throw a courier on top of that one. A very composed game by both sides, and then Tundra seemingly crumble in just one awful fight for them.
This Gleipnir plus the Slight and Chain combo is just destroying them when they don't have BKB.
4 diebacks.
And we see Amar's damage there. You can hurt this guy in the lane, but honestly, you might not want to. At this point, give him an easier lane, you know?
He's got like real life reactive armor, you know? The more you hit him, it just means later on, he becomes more terrifying.
That's that long style chase down fight that OG's heroes love. Thunder does not have the stuns to stop this Ember Weaver once his BKBs are down, just kiting them, playing with their food. Who needs black hole? You might not even see one this game.
Yeah, seriously. Like 33 has been so focused on making sure there is no black hole back. It just seems like the Ember and the Weaver have free games. Now, in that discussion, though, is he still making the right play by going after Taiga, or should he be reassessing right now?
At this point, it kind of feels like it isn't, but at the same time, if he doesn't lasso Enigma, maybe Enigma just black holes his CK or Pango, and then, oh, why didn't he lasso him, you know? Yeah. I don't think it's a bad play, but it doesn't feel like Tundra can take the fights afterwards. You have to think about setting the fights up in a different manner, right? Like maybe you need to find this Ember or Weaver on their own, burst them off the CK bowl. It was also a fight into OG's outpost, which gives that Bane free entry back into the fight. OG can abuse these buybacks. Those are difficult fights unless you have the staying power.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Saksa was able to get away there, as he needs to not be dying. He's trying to get one of the few extra disables that Tundra needs in the Scythe of Ice. But OG now up 12,000 net worth against Tundra, who going into this series was 3-0, OG 2-1. And remember, there was a history of Tundra repeatedly beating OG until
Dire's
the
top tower
start of
is
the
under
DPC
attack.
this year. Last
Radiant's
season, they
bottom
did manage to
tower
get a
has
victory
fallen.
2-1. And maybe that's the beginning.
Oh, what a sleep.
Isha.
Abaddon's here.
Oh, he tries to get there, but the Orchid comes through. And that means a full Fiend's Grip, and Snaking's not even going to try and stick around. That is a dead Skeeter unless he can go for, okay, he just demolishes that poor Enigma. Skeeter's still dead, but at least he got something on the way out.
For my beetle.
That's the life of a 5 sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
What can you do? Honestly,
Dire's middle tower
I guess
is
this
under
BKB's
attack.
already at that 6, otherwise, no, that's worth it. That's worth it. You take that.
For sure.
I do not feel like this game is getting easier for Tundra at this point. Now, like double Lincolns now on these OG cores. Who is stunning?
Ember double
Weaver combo.
Shikuchi charges on Yuragi now that he's level 25, so.
Does not feel possible to kill these 2 cores, honestly. Like, need to get some crazy Pango chains done. Like, you better hope OG takes the fight with 5 heroes on top of 1 stair.
Another level 25 just came in. We have the Ember Spear with the 2 Sleight of Fist charges, so there seems to be a theme of 2-2-2 everywhere. Amar is closing in on his level 25 very soon as well, so massive upgrade.
Not an item I see on Timber a lot. Like, usually you end up with Octarine, or I mean, it used to be Bloodstone to a degree, which I don't think is popular. It's not, you're not gonna buy now, but yeah. Very interesting item pickup. I mean, again, like, these guys are so tanky with the double dispel.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Extra status resistance. Just untouchable as well. They're gonna try.
The stairs. Is he even taking damage? Yeah, he's really not. They're going to keep trying to flame break him, but he does have the Lodestone to relieve some of the sticky napalm stacks. And now it's like, okay, you've used one of your big team fight abilities, and I haven't taken 80 damage. If anything, that gives us more incentive to keep this push going.
Look at how far back Taiga's standing. He does not want to get lassoed right now.
He's so terrified. He's like, I can always run in late to the fight.
I mean, this is correct. This is 100% correct. Like, this is how far back you have to stand in these types of games. Because he knows Tundra's trying to flank, find the supports, which, honestly, they're not even doing it. I think it's their only route to fight. Like, you cannot touch these sieging heroes from OG.
That means the creeps are well protected, so backdoor protection was up for a second, but now the next round of creeps are here to break it.
Biggest thing for Tundra is, again, this 33 initiation. He has double lasso now.
Has fallen.
He's got to find the right targets. It feels like it's got to be this Enigma +1. Because at this point, Taiga does have that BKB finish. Invisibility. Honestly, there's too many targets. He needs a couple refreshers and a couple lassos here, but
yeah, I almost feel like he needs Aghanim Scepter, right? I mean, that's one way to get around Lincoln, right? If heroes are next to each other.
Yeah, again, the double Lincolns, the Lotus, he could just get randomly gripped. He get Orchided and then, you know, just stacks his BKB a little. There's a lot that can mess with it. He just will go down for OG here, so it gives them potentially an opener where if they can somehow pop the Weaver Lincolns and lasso him, that's the best target. Because he just bought Scotty, he has no buyback.
Top tower is under attack.
They also do have the vision mechanic. They've got the Harpy.
Pray to the Harpy gods.
Smoke is going to break on the Harpy here. See if they can find the initiation. The supports are going to be gone on first. They already have the bugs, but they do have the roll-in. A pretty nice one that interrupts Yuragi. But ultimately, this BCM looking to go. Ember Spirit, possibly maybe behind the black hole. It catches the Chaos Knight just as they were hoping, and it's a little bit too late for the Lasso to come in and save anything. Nine trying to protect himself with the roll-up, but he will also be dying here. And Taiga walks away perfectly healthy. May have been lassoed, but no damage behind it. 3 dead with no buyback. And OG, they're just going to run at the base. They're just going to go for the throne, and there is nothing Tundra can do to stop it.
He just felt like it was slowly slipping away from Tundra for so long. They could not get a concrete move here. Batrider was super strong, but that's also a little bit of the downside of this hero this patch is this lasso is a long cooldown. You can't just rely on this hero to take over the entire map versus a good team. They just got split push, ratted. Eventually we saw like those two long fights. 33 trying to make something happen with the pressure, but I just don't even think he has any damage at this point.
Amar.
What's the high five?
Yeah, please, high five me. Great laning phase, but GG gonna be called as 33 does go down the last week for Tundra. And a comeback in this game one, but OG denies that. 39-minute game by them. Very even for the first 25 minutes or so, but I can't